Good morning. Let's talk about how this operates. You have 9 speakers. I come in here, I know not a single one of them. I do not have the folder that you have. I have no idea what ideas they have listed. I have no idea what their backgrounds are. And I find that the 3 topics I'm going to speak on all have already been spoken on today. So I'm not necessarily in an envious position, right? But go along with me. Everybody please stand. You've been there for quite some time. Now, please go along with me. Take 1 step to the left. Now take 1 step back to the right. Now raise your right hand. I've always been told that a good speaker will move its audience. So you may sit down now, having been moved. And even though I was going to talk about 3 different things, I'm still going to talk about those 3 different things, and I'll just try to do it in a little bit different way. My first was eliminate negativity, and we've had 2 or 3 speakers who have talked about negativity. So let me just give you an example. An elderly couple, they've been married for years. Sometimes people grow together. Unfortunately, sometimes people grow apart. And unfortunately, in this case, the elderly couple grew apart. And they would argue each day. They would fuss with each other each day. They would criticize each day. Negativity. One day, the elder female, the wife, just could not take any more. And she was so frustrated, she didn't know what she was doing. Like a lot of women, when she gets frustrated, she heads to Walmart. So she's at Walmart, going up and down the aisles, looking at things. She really doesn't realize what she's doing, and before she knows it, she has a cart. And she's putting some things in that cart. And some things she would never have done in her life before, but because there has been so much negativity, and because she is so frustrated, she shoplifts. And somebody reports her, and she is taken to the police station. And ultimately, she has to appear before the judge. Now, the husband is so sympathetic, he goes with her when she appears before the judge. And the judge is asking her, why? Why did you do this? She said, I can't explain it. I was just so frustrated. I was so angry. I had been criticized so much. Nothing was right. I shouldn't have done it. I know that. And the judge said, well, what did you take? And her response was, well, I took a can of peaches. And the judge said, you took a can of peaches. How many peaches are in a can? She said, well, I really don't know, but I think there were 5 or 6. He said, 5 or 6 peaches. What are we going to do about this? I can't just turn you loose. I can't just give you a lecture. So I'm going to have to assign you some type of community service. So he specified something for her to do because of 5 or 6 peaches for 5 or 6 weeks. And when he said that, immediately the husband stood up and said, but she stole a can of peas, Judge. She stole a can of peas. You are always going to have the negative people around you. Try as we may, try as we might, we're going to have negative people. So how do we handle them? You've had excellent examples this morning. I love that they shoot the nag. Remember that. But you might also remember, and this was pointed out, that we have to be the example of not being negative. And so when we have those negative people, how do we work with them? Again, be positive yourself. Don't be negative. And a second small technique is that if you work in groups, if you work in committees, if you work in what some people call cells, I always try to make sure that when I am appointing that committee or I am arranging that cell, that I have 3, 4, 5, whatever the size is going to be, of definitely positive people, and I deliberately put 1 negative person in there. So they are exposed to the thinking of the positive people and how that they go about doing things. So that's my first tip. My second tip that, again, has been talked about is change the ordinary into the extraordinary. Now, I think this is in your packet. I'm not sure. I assume that it is written there. But there are so many things that we do that are ordinary. There are many things we do that are not ordinary. But ordinary, when we talk about a work week, we usually think of 40 hours. If you're going to be a leader, forget that idea immediately, because the 40 goes into 50, 60, or whatever. But we ordinarily think, 5 days a week. We ordinarily think Monday through Friday. We ordinarily think 8 to 5, something like that. There are many, many things that we do that are in common, that we have in similarities. And there are many details that you do repeatedly. Try to think about how you can change some of that ordinary into extraordinary. And one of the things that we do is that we give a Christmas bonus every single year. And I'm sure that's an ordinary custom to many, many businesses. But how we change that to extraordinary is that we don't wait until Christmas to give that bonus. We give that bonus and we make sure that we get that check into their checking accounts before Thanksgiving. And we make sure that we send a note, include a message, send an email or something saying, this is your Christmas bonus. It's just coming a little bit early. It's in your bank. And we have done it because we know that Black Friday shopping is coming up. And we want you to have the funds there if that's how you choose to use them. It doesn't cost us 1 penny more than it would if we waited until Christmas. But where is the benefit? The employee morale has just done a major uptick, greater than even the stock market. And so those little things, think about how you can change the ordinary into the extraordinary. And then the last one, just talked about, we have many things in similarity, many things in common, but every person up here is different. Every person back there is different. We are unique. And so, find out how you are unique and claim it. I am unique from probably 99% in this audience in a way because I am from a Native American Indian tribe. I am a tribe that we were the first in the United States to be relocated after the Indian Removal Act was passed in 1830. So in 1832, we were in Ohio, and we were forced to march every step of the way from Ohio to Indian Territory. We lost almost everything. I have no idea where my name came from. I am not able to do much genealogy because the Indian names were taken from my people, and I can only go back so far. I do not know why I have the name I have, or when or where. We lost our language. We lost a great percentage on that march. And we lost even more because we arrived in December. A wonderful time in this area to plant your garden. A wonderful time to be outdoors most of the time. A wonderful time not to know anything around you. And so consequently, by 1900, we were down to only 69 people. My past is in Ohio. And there are some things that in Ohio that I will never, never give up on. It is not pleasant to think, but it is my culture, and my culture is important to me, just as we've talked about business culture, personal culture, etc. I have over 100,000 of my human remains, my elders, my people, who are still in boxes, still never having been reburied. Have we made some progress? Yes, we've gotten them out of the museums. Yes, they're no longer visible to the human eye, but instead they've been shoved under something in basements, so on and so forth. In my culture, until a person is buried, their spirit does not rest. And so I am unique in that way, that I will not let Ohio be content in just keeping those people there. I go back and I work and I say, This is incorrect. This is not how you would do your family. Let us bury those people. And so I work with that issue. In that regard, I am unique. Another way that I am unique is that, again, my past is in Ohio. My people lived there, my elders, my ancestors. But little by little, the things that are there that were Native American are being destroyed, desecrated, removed. And if I don't speak up, and somebody else doesn't speak up, who will? So for almost 10 years, I've been on a committee to name and place some of our sacred mounds in Ohio into World Heritage status. World Heritage would be places like the Great Wall of China. World Heritage would be Stonehenge. World Heritage would be the pyramids in Egypt. World Heritage would be there in Australia, the Great Barrier Reef. World Heritage would be Grand Canyon. So some of the things are man-made, some of the things are nature-made, some of the things are artistic, some of the things are cultural. And I arrived in Ohio one day to a place called Newark Earthwork Mounds. And the minute I saw them, which was a struggle in itself because I was told Native Americans can come here only one day a year where we get public access to go to our sacred burial grounds. I was told, you don't belong here. We're having a golf tournament here. We have a golf course on top of these burial grounds. I could not believe that in the United States we would do something like that. And so for 10 years I have united with people there in Ohio to work toward changing this situation. We now believe that it's possible within the next 2 years to get that accomplished. So you have unique things, I have unique things. Claim your uniqueness. Eliminate negativity. Change the ordinary into extraordinary. And enjoy every single day of your life and make the best of it. Thank you for this opportunity.